I've got a beautiful card with a white tone-on-tone look to it, but if you can see, it's got a bit of shimmer in that background. It's all about the background for today's card. It's a fairly simple card. We're only going to be using 2 of the dies from the Festive collection, the Joy to the World mini background and the classic Poinsettia. I'll also be using 3 of the Cosmic Shimmer products, the Cosmic Pearl PVA, the Cosmic White PVA, and the Cosmic Lacquer. Okay, now I'm going to start with the background first, and that is going to include a piece of clear acetate, and that's what we're going to be using for our background. So put that down there, and then I'm going to use the Cosmic Pearl and the Cosmic White PVA glues, and we're just going to create a little bit of a swirly background here, up and back like this. Now this one is the pearl, and they look very similar when they first go on. It's once they dry you'll see the difference in them. So I'm just going to add a little bit extra here. The pearl will give it a nice shimmer, and then some of the white. Mix that in and among it. There we go. Put the lids back on those so they're nice and safe, and then we're going to come in with the Cosmic Lacquer. Just add a little bit, and this will actually give it kind of a slippery feel to it. So I'm going to just put some on the edge there, and I'm going to just use my finger and just give it a little bit of smoothing. Try and fill it all in. And you can actually do swirls if you like. I've just gone back and forth to kind of create a little bit of a streak look on the background. Just move it around. And if you find you've got some empty areas, then you can go back through with one of your colors and you can blend that in too. Put a little bit more there. Super, super easy. There we go. Now what's nice about things like this is you can do these ahead of time and then just grab them as you need them. Let me get a piece of tissue here. Wipe that off. Now this will have to set aside to dry. So get a hold of the edges there. And I would let that dry overnight, so I'll set that behind me and show you what you have. Now this is the side that I applied the glue on, dried. When you turn it over, you'll see all that beautiful shimmeriness coming through the front of the acetate like that. Isn't that gorgeous? So that's the one we'll be using for today's card. So the next thing is to cut your background. And I went ahead and cut the Joy to the World, and I put a little bit of an extra border around it because these mini backgrounds, as well as our larger dies, don't have a cutting edge to them. So you can create that border whatever size you would like it to be with the paper cutter. So I left a little bit extra, about a ½ inch all the way around, and used my piercing ruler to pierce it. And then I've gone ahead and added on some mounting foam to raise that for some dimension. Let me just peel that off, get a hold of that. You could easily just glue this directly onto the background if you like. And there's a couple little pieces just strategically put onto some of the wider areas of the sentiment here to kind of hold it up. So I'll just peel the backing off of those. Okay, so I'm going to center that over that, and we'll trim the excess away. And remember, this is the top of the acetate, so it's going to be nice and slippery there, so it'll be a good grab. And then we'll just trim this away underneath our edge. You could even probably use some of these for borders. They're wide enough left over. Get this side. Just be sure and keep your scissors at an angle so you don't cut into your background. There we go. And my last side right there. There we go. So we'll set this off to the side. But you can see how pretty that comes through. And if you just move it around, you get such beautiful shimmer coming through from that pearl. Isn't that pretty? Okay, so now I've gone ahead and created a little bit of a matting and layering with some white and some silver card. So I'll go ahead and put this into place with that. Just some glue around the back here. Pop that right into place, the center of that. There we go. Get that nice and even. And on this piece, I've got some mounting foam on the back, and I'm going to put it onto a larger piece and really frame it up. go. Make sure I'm nice and straight still. Pop that down in the middle. So you've got a beautifully framed sentiment. I love this fact that it's a sentiment, but it's also a background too. So it really does create your whole card for you. But I'm going to add a couple little accent pieces. Now I've gone ahead and cut the classic poinsettia out of vellum. And you can double these up and do 2 at a time, which is really nice. And I'm just going to give it a little bit of a treatment on the edges. So using the brush pewter distress stain, I'm going to give it a shake. It's got your metallic bits in there, so you want to get that all nice and shook up. And I'm going to go around the edge of these petals here and just give it a little bit of a wash. Bring in a little bit tiny extra, and I can even use my finger to kind of move it around. Just catching the edge of these as I go around. A little bit there, use that there. It's kind of almost a distressed look with the way you put it on. It's not a neat, it's just kind of catching the edge in different random areas. There we go. And then to give it a little tiny pinch, to add some dimension to it. I love the way that looks on your flowers too. Okay. Yeah, I've got a little on my fingers. Let me find my glue and we'll go ahead and put these 2 pieces together. So I've got 2 of them that I've done, and I put the pearl in the center of the top one here. Give these a little fold and then offset them, and just give that a second to set up. I'll just let that glue into place, and then I'll go ahead and put these on. Tidy up my mess a tiny bit. Okay, so some glue dots right in the middle of these. I've made 2 of the smaller poinsettias, and I'm going to seat one up in the top corner. Try not to hide my words. And the second one I'm going to put down here lower. Right about like that, and this one should be about dry. Let's just be gentle with it. It'll probably take a few minutes. This will dry clear when it does dry, so there we go. Pop that right about like that. Offset it a little bit. There we go. How pretty is that? Beautiful white on white with just a hint of silver that we've brought in around the flower and in the matting, so it kind of ties it in really nicely. Well, I hope you've enjoyed today's video. It's a fun background. You can use this for so many other things too. Don't think just Christmas. You can use this in everyday cards as well. Hope to see you again soon.